All right, so we will start out with the national prayer. That's national anthem, and we'll take the safety and sustainability moment. We recognize D&I chairs who are in collaboration with SP 103. We'll have a welcome address from the section chair of SP 103. Then we would read the bio of our keynote speaker, Mr. Simon Satan. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. It's quite exciting to see you in attendance, and we look forward to hearing from you. And after that, we introduce our moderator, who would in turn bring in the panelists, runs the panel session, we do the Q&A, and then we will hand over to our ARD, who would take the IMD Hall of Fame. We have, of course, we are celebrating our men and boys today, but we have some leaders of the community who would want to put spotlight on. And after that, we invite our membership chair, Emmanuel Agbo, who does the membership drive. Then we take photographs and closing remarks be taken by me. So as I said, I'm Dr. Judith George. I'm the D&I chair for Port Harcourt. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. And I do recognize that this prayer is only for Nigeria. Next time would take into account. Yes, I know we have 3 distinct nationalities there, so my apologies in advance. So we'll take the national prayer. Simeon, is it playing? You can't hear anything.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Thank you very much, Simeon, for that rendition. So we'll go to the next. That would be safety and sustainability moment. Kindly mute your mic when you're not speaking. If you'd want to contribute, do raise your hand so we orderly in the conversation. Be free to use the chat button, the chat box to make your entries, to record your observations, as well as to share. You can use the reaction buttons. Ensure you can still hear your fire alarm even with your headset on. Please do be alert and aware of your environment, and always to stay safe. Below are sustainability goals, SDG goals 1 to 17, no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education. All of these are the goals that we work every day to support, and all of this resonate with us in the whole world, Nigeria, Ghana, the US, all over the world. So please do take note of these goals, and as much as possible, ensures that the work we do contributes to these goals. Ultimately, we want to leave the world better than how we met it. We want to make sure that we use just enough resources today and leave enough for our children and our grandchildren, for the future generation to continue thriving. We don't want to use up everything and leave them in a lurch. Thank you very much. Please, the next slide. Thank you. This slide is a recognition of the D&I chairs with whom we worked. We have Nidra Araba Yebua. She's a digital account manager at SLB and D&I chair SP Ghana. Yebua, thank you. Nidra, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure working with you. You can wave at us. Yes, thank you. Thanks. And Professor Julius Udo Ukpabio, D&I committee chair for Uyo section. Professor, thank you so much. It's utmost pleasure working with you. Thanks so much. So yes, we will proceed to the remarks from our section chair. The section chair now of section 103. So we're welcoming you, Engineer Dr. Pringle. Do go ahead with your remarks.
All right. Thank you very much, Judy. Thank you very much for putting this together. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, distinguished colleagues, esteemed speakers, our honorary guests, our vibrant SP communities across Africa and beyond. On behalf of the Society of Petroleum Engineers Port Harcourt section, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this year's International Men's Day, theme Celebrating Men and Boys. Today, we gather not only as industry professionals, but as a father, brothers, mentors, and friends, united in recognizing the contributions, challenges, and the unique role that men and boys play in our society. The International Men's Day remains one of the key events as a section we celebrate this positive male role model and promote men's health being and uphold the value of responsibility, leadership, respect, and purpose. As a section, we are proud to support this conversation that strengthens families, uplift communities, guide the next generation of responsible male leaders. I would like to especially appreciate our keynote speaker, Mr. Simon Seaton, the CEO of SP, and our distinguished special guest, Dr. Riverson Okpong, the SP Africa Regional Director. Your presence greatly enriched this platform. A special appreciation goes to our able council chair, Engineer Francis, for his leadership and unwavering support. Thank you for your continuous commitment to advancing SP mission across Nigeria. To the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, the Ghana section, Uyo section, our partners, including the Nigerian Boys Brigade, Rivers State Council, thank you for your collaboration in delivering this impactful initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, today's dialogue is timely as we celebrate the men and boys. Let us reflect on how we can build a healthy community, create a supportive structure, and shape a future where every boy grows into a confident and responsible and fulfilled man. Thank you for joining us. I wish you a meaningful, engaging, and inspiring webinar. Welcome once again and a happy International Men's Day. Thank you. Thank you very much, Judy. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Section Chair. And thanks for pointing out something that I had missed. That is giving credit to Boys Brigade for working with us. In fact, tomorrow we have a planned physical event that will take place at the secondary school. We want to talk to the boys, and we're doing that in collaboration with Boys Brigade. So we also want to say thank you to Boys Brigade for working with us. It's a pleasure. So we'll go to the next one, which is the keynote address. But before that, I will read bio. Meet our keynote speaker. As CEO, Simon Seaton is responsible for overall management of SPE. He works with the board of directors and senior staff to develop strategic and business plans and formulate the organization's goals, objectives, policies, and programs. He also organizes and directs the global staff organization, which includes offices in Dallas, Houston, Calgary, Kuala Lumpur, and Dubai, to ensure the accomplishment of SPE's mission. He previously held the role of CEO, Energy and Resources at Sodexo, a global food facilities management and workplace services company where he worked since 2012 in Houston, Singapore, and Dubai. A graduate of Cardiff University and a chemist by education. Apologies for the breaking transmission. Simeon, when you're ready, I think I lost yours, what you're sharing. All right, I could continue reading from. All right, a graduate of Cardiff University and a chemist by education, his career began as a drilling fluids engineer. He spent 22 years at Halliburton in various technical, business development, and executive roles in Aberdeen, Houston, and Nigeria. Interesting. Wow. Okay, you're home. Welcome back. We'll give you a name later. I think we'll give Olivier Omowale. So we'll find one for you, sir. Okay, positions at Halliburton included country vice president, managing director of the UK, and senior director of Deepwater Solutions. Seaton has been an SPE member for more than 27 years and has authored or co-authored more than 20 technical papers. Can you beat that? In 2021, he completed the Global Energy Leadership Program at the Jones Graduate School of Business, Rice University, and in 2025 was elected as a Fellow of the Energy Institute. Originally from the UK, he currently resides in Houston, rather. Thank you very much. I want to make welcome Simon Seaton. Please kindly clap. Reactions. We have the best of the best in the room. Thank you so much,
Wow.
sir. It's an honor reading your bio. We give
Thank you very
flowers.
much for the
Thank you.
invitation, Judith. You
Thank
can hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Please, you have
All
the
right.
floor now. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, very good. Well, I am going to try and share my screen. Let's see if that works. And tell me if you can see my screen. Is that working?
Okay.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to just talk a little bit. So firstly, I'm just checking the time. All right. Thank you for the invitation to come and speak to these sections about International Men's Day. And what I'm going to do a little bit today is talk about a personal story of mine, share that with you, and then share a little bit about maybe some lessons learned over my career that hopefully will be helpful to all of you, not just men. Let's start with, we've kind of hit on that in my bio, so I don't need to spend any huge amount of time on it. You saw my career. I spent 3.5 years in Nigeria, most of that in Port Harcourt, but spent a little bit of time in Lagos as well. And you'll see a picture there of me presenting one of the papers that I have published with SPE at the NACE in 1999 in Abuja. So it's nice to be welcome back and appreciate the invitation. And as I said, you covered my bio, so I won't go to too much detail about that today. I'm not actually very familiar with International Men's Day. So when I got the invitation, I did go away and do a little bit of reading. And I think you're probably more aware than I am that there are six pillars of the International Men's Day. But the one that resonated with me was pillar 3. And that is the one about focusing on men's health and well-being. And that's beyond our physical health. That's our social, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. And the topic I wanted to talk about a little bit today, because it's near and dear to my heart, is the one around mental health. And I think it's particularly challenging for men for a couple of reasons that I will touch on. Firstly, I think discussing mental health issues, as particularly with men, is still a taboo subject in many cultures. And there's plenty of reports and data available on this, but the one that I found and have quoted in here is a recent report that says up to 77% of men report some kind of mental health issues over the course of their life. But very few are willing to talk about it and confront it and share that, which makes it harder in turn for other people to come forward and talk about their own issues. Why is that? Well, I think there's a couple of reasons. I think the traditional perception of men in society around the world, really fairly consistently, is that the man is supposed to be strong, the man is supposed to not show weakness, and the man is supposed to push on and get on with things regardless, which is really not a very healthy way to live your life, as I will illustrate a little bit later on. I think there's also still a stigma. People feel embarrassed about talking about this topic, and that there is a stigma, perhaps even being perceived as a weakness for men to come forward and talk about mental health issues. So I think it's really important we all take these opportunities to share and to talk about the fact that this is something that is normal. This is something that happens, if not to everybody, most people over the course of their life. And we need to help reduce those taboos and reduce the stigmas attached to mental health. Why do we find it so hard? I think people do worry about the implications of admitting it. What are the implications for my career? What happens if I go to my boss and say, you know, I've had this issue or I'm experiencing this issue? Is that going to impact my chances of promotion? Is that going to change the way my company sees me or sees my career? And similarly, I think within the family context as well, it's hard to admit weakness sometimes. It's hard to tell people that you're struggling. The man is perceived in many cultures to be the strong one, the one who delivers, who provides, who supports. So people do find it hard. And the same survey that I referenced earlier, about 77% of men report some kind of mental health issues. 40% would never discuss that, which is a very large number. And it has very real implications. I did have a couple of graphs, but I was going to show, but to be honest, they're quite disturbing, so I didn't. But, you know, the data is very clear that the leading cause of death in men in many parts of the world under the age of 50 now is suicide. It's the leading cause of death in men under the age of 50 in the United Kingdom. It's the leading cause of death of men under the age of 55 in Australia. And it's the second leading cause of death in men in the United States and Canada. So this is what happens when we don't address those issues. It can lead to some very, very severe outcomes. So as I said, I'm on a bit of a mission. I'm trying to talk about this and trying to talk, whether it's to my staff, whether it's to my personal friends, whether it's to my colleagues, that this is a real issue. And it's one that we all need to face and work together to help address and create the environment where men can speak about their issues and can speak about their concerns. Why? Well, the short answer is it happened to me. I had ignored signs for years, honestly, about issues with my heart, stress, anxiety. I was unwilling to talk about it. I felt like it would damage my career. I felt like it would damage the reputation, the oh so important reputation that I had built up. And all that came to a head in 2022, where I went through a series of shocks, including 2 major panic attacks, one of them on a plane. And I can tell you, there's no good place to have a panic attack, but on a plane at 37,000 feet in the air with nowhere to go, unless you're the person who's going to tell the captain that you need to land the plane, is a really hard place to have a panic attack. The second one ended up with me hospitalized. You can see the picture my wife took of me at that point in time. And that was really the final straw. So from that point on, I started a medication. I started some therapy to understand what was causing this. And actually, through that whole process, identified an arrhythmia in my heart that I had to go away and get treated. It was never a serious, fatal issue, but without going forward, without walking into a hospital and saying, I'm having this issue, that would not have been found and that would not have been treated to this day. So as I said, this is something that's very personal to me. This is something that I share because I hope my story will encourage other people to say, yes, I'm having issues. I need to address this. This is not healthy and this is not good for me. So the question is, what can we all do about it? And I think really there's really 2 things that we can all do. The first one is we need to ask the right questions. We need to ask people, are they okay? And are they really okay? And not necessarily accept the first answer that you get. But I think we also really need to think about whether it's in our family, whether it's within our social network, or whether it's in our professional community, whether it's in our workplace. Are we creating an environment where it's safe for somebody to answer that question and say, actually, no, I'm not okay? Have we created an environment? Have we created an environment where somebody can feel safe in coming forward and talking about their health issues, their mental health issues, and the way that we're feeling? So that is the work that we all have to do. That is my goal, is that anyone I'm working with or anyone I'm in contact with, if I ask that question, am I creating that safe environment where they can come forward and say, actually, no, I'm not okay, and we can deal with that. So I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to share my personal story, and I wanted to share with you that request that we all work to look after each other as men. We all understand the implications of not managing our mental health, and that we create safe spaces for people to talk about this and get the help that they need to prevent the worst possible outcomes. I thought I would change the mood a little bit to finish. That didn't feel like a very good note to finish on. So I thought I would share another couple of things. As you saw, I've been very fortunate. My career in oil and gas has been a fantastic one. It's seen me travel around the world. It's seen me live in 4 different continents, interact with so many different people of different nationalities and different cultures. I think there are some things I can share with you as lessons learned from that 40 years or almost 40 years that hopefully will help you all, the men, but maybe some of the women as well. First thing, lesson 1, you can do anything. I firmly believe that. If you put your mind to something, you can do anything. However, you can't do everything. Nobody can do everything. So life is about choices, and your mental health and well-being, as well as your physical health, is about choices. You can have career, you can have family, you can have friends, you can have health and wellness, but you may not be able to have all of them at the same time. And so as you go through life, you are constantly making choices. You're making choices about whether you're going to put your family first, your health first, your career first, or your friends first. But you can do anything. You just can't do everything. And I think that's a really important lesson that I've learned and have spent time where I've been less concerned about my career and more concerned about my family or my health. And I've also spent time where I felt it was really important for me to focus on my career and have done that as well. So lesson 1 is that. Lesson 2, I talk about this a lot, particularly to young professionals or people who are mid-career. And that is, success is not the same thing as happiness. And I've worked with and spoken to many people, both in my professional capacity, but also in my role at SPE, talking to volunteers. And I think it's really important to understand that if you have convinced yourself that your happiness requires you to have a certain job title or a certain office in the building, I can promise you that promotion or that pay rise is not going to make you happy if you were unhappy before. If it's really important that you understand that being successful is not the same thing as being happy. And I can assure you there are many, many successful people in this world who are not happy. So again, try not to fall into that trap of thinking that I'm not happy today, but if I can just get that promotion or if I can just get that fancy office or that new title, things are going to be okay. My experience is that doesn't really solve the problem. You might feel better for a week, a day, a month, but if you're unhappy before, a job title or a promotion isn't going to change that. And then the third one, I think, especially for men of my age and my generation who've been around a long time, someone told me this a few months ago and I wrote it down because I really liked it. If you have a clear conscience, then you probably have a bad memory. We've all made mistakes. The industry has changed in 35 years that I've worked on it. Culture has changed. Society has changed. You know, I've made my share of mistakes. I've done things I now regret, but that's okay. I've learned from those and I own those, and I'm not trying to be perfect or present as perfect. I think that's never going to be credible. as I said, I own my mistakes. I own the things I've done wrong in the past. I don't have a clear conscience. I have a fairly good memory. But that's not to say I can't improve and work on myself and work on these things every day. So those are my three lessons that I like to share. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. Success is not the same thing as happiness. And if you have a clear conscience, you probably have a bad memory. So I'm going to pause there. I think I took about 10 minutes, which is what I promised Judith. Again, I'm happy to have a chance to speak with you all today. I'll stay on and listen to the panel. It sounds really interesting. You can reach out to me through LinkedIn anytime you wish. I can't answer every response I get sometimes, but I do try. And I wish you all a very happy International Men's Day. I wish you a very successful event. And I look forward to listening and participating for the rest of this hour or so that we have together. So thank you for the invitation, Judith, and good luck with the rest of the event.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Simon, for speaking to us from your heart. We've gained a lot from your sincerity, the message. It touches at our heartstrings. Thank you so much. And we are in a space where we are aspiring for more. Many people here are mid-level career, some are young professionals starting out. So taking your lesson will help us to refine our journey. So really, you might not be able to have interaction with everyone to check the impact that your word has had on them, but you can be sure that we've taken that to heart, especially the vulnerability and sharing your true story. So no, really, we do appreciate. Thank you so much for your kindness. So we'll proceed to the next part where I'm bringing the moderator. And after that, the moderator brings in the panelists. So for the next part, we'll be having the panel session. Here is the moderator. Anasai Jethro Ngochindo is a result-oriented graduate engineer with a robust background in mechanical engineering, complemented by a postgraduate diploma in petroleum technology from the Institute of Petroleum and Energy Studies, IPS, IFP School. This unique positioning at the intersection of technology design and energy operations is reflected in his professional trajectory. He recently concluded a formative one-year internship as an integrated operations planning analyst at Total Energies, where he developed core competencies in project planning, communication, and upstream operational strategy. A registered member of both the Society of Petroleum Engineers, SPE, and the Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSE. Anasai's dedication extends beyond his technical acumen. He's a proven leader and strategic organizer. As Council Administrator for the Boys Brigade Nigeria LMA Battalion Council, he drove strategic growth, increasing membership by 66% and revitalizing functional units by 300%, while also training members who now hold key leadership roles with a record of exceptional delivery. He continues this service as State Welfare Officer, coordinating entrepreneurial grants and academic scholarship to boys. Within SPE Port Harcourt section, he currently serves as the Diversity and Inclusion Committee Secretary. Anasai is a versatile professional who consistently leverages his strategic planning and stakeholder management skills to deliver measurable, sustainable results. I do welcome our moderator. Anasai, you have the floor now. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so very much, Engineer Judith. And thank you, highly distinguished ladies and gentlemen here. Please confirm you can see me and hear me clearly.
Yes, we can see you and we can hear you. Please do go ahead.
All right. And indeed, it has been an amazing session so far. I really learned a lot from our council chair, Simon. We really appreciate your session. At this point, I will be introducing our panelists. Next slide, please. We have very robust and highly impactful professionals on our panel section. Let me introduce our first panelist, Francis Nwaochie. He is a highly accomplished energy professional with deep expertise in petroleum engineering, deep water operations, and strategic partnership management. He currently oversees PSC partner relations, managing critical aspects of budgeting, planning, and contracting for complex oil and gas projects. His career reflects a strong blend of technical excellence and commercial acumen, enabling him to deliver high value in high-stakes environments. Francis is a graduate of Imperial College London and Harvard Business School, bringing a global perspective to energy leadership and decision-making. His ability to integrate engineering fundamentals with strategic business insights has positioned him as a trusted leader in navigating complex operational and commercial challenges beyond his corporate role. Francis is deeply committed to advancing the energy profession. He currently serves as the chair of the SP Nigeria Council for the 2025-2026 body, where he champions initiatives that promote technical excellence, knowledge sharing, and professional development across the industry. He's very passionate about mentorship and leadership development. Francis advocates for building resilient, ethical leaders who can thrive in a rapidly evolving energy landscape. His work emphasizes collaboration, adaptability, and innovation as key drivers for sustainable success in the oil and gas sector. Ladies and gentlemen, please receive warmly Francis Nwaochie, Manager, Deepwater and PSC Partner Relations, Council Chair, SP Nigeria. Your virtual round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our second panelist, Nidra Araba Yeboah, is a seasoned energy professional with over a decade experience in the oil and gas industry. She currently serves as Digital Account Manager at SLB and also a Senior Geologist, bringing over a decade of expertise in subsurface evaluation, reservoir characterization, and data-driven decision-making. Nidra is passionate about leveraging technology to optimize workflows and deliver value across exploration and production operations. Beyond her technical role, Nidra is a strong advocate for diversity and inclusion. She chairs the Diversity and Inclusion Committee for SP Ghana section, where she champions initiatives that promote equity, mentorship, and professional development for underrepresented groups in the energy sector. Her leadership reflects a commitment to creating inclusive spaces that empower individuals to thrive. Nidra's career is marked by a blend of technical excellence and strategic thinking, enabling her to bridge the gap between geosciences and digital innovation. She believes in continuous learning and collaboration as key drivers for industry progress. Through her work, she inspires young professionals to embrace adaptability, resilience in a rapidly evolving energy landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nidra Araba Yeboah, Digital Account Manager at SLB, D&I Chair, SP Ghana. And we have another panelist, Dr. Chukwudi Herbert Ebimnamuye. Is a devoted Christian leader, educator, and youth worker, passionate about the boy child. As State Secretary, Organizer of the Boys Brigade Nigeria, Rivers State Council, he has driven growth, challenge, and program development since his appointment in 2018. Dr. Ebimnamuye holds a PhD in Political and Administrative Studies, International Relations, and is an advanced national training officer Anto of the Boys Brigade, a testament to his leadership and training credentials. His faith shapes every part of his service, framing the Boys Brigade as a Christian-centered avenue to form boys into young men of character, competence, and conscience. What fuels the urgency and empathy in his work is his personal testimony of experiencing or witnessing the inequalities many boys face in society. This lived experience gives him unique credibility when speaking to parents, church leaders, and partners about the need to invest in the boy child. Dr. Chukwudi believes that under-investing in boys has communal costs, including higher vulnerability to exploitation and missed leadership potential. He channels his conviction into programs, training, and advocacy, helping boys claim dignity, purpose, and a future, and grow into men who honor God, serve their community, and build a more just society. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's welcome Dr. Chukwudi Ebim Anto, State Secretary Organizer, Boys Brigade Nigeria, Rivers State Council. And finally, but not the least, a very distinguished professor of psychology, or a very distinguished doctor of psychology, Dr. Mfon Ineme. He is a licensed clinical psychologist. I believe I have spoken promotion for you, sir. He's a licensed clinical psychologist, immediate vice president too, and fellow of the Nigerian Psychological Association. He is an associate professor of clinical psychology and chairman, Nigerian Association of Clinical Psychologists, Akwa Ibom State Chapter. He holds a diploma in public finance and a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology, both from the University of Uyo, Nigeria, and Master of Science degree and Doctor of Philosophy in clinical psychology, both from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria. He also holds a diploma in artificial intelligence and human resource management. He is the current acting head, Department of Psychology, University of Uyo. His research interest is in abnormal behaviors. He has, to his credit, over 50 publications in reputable journals and other outlets across the globe. He reviews for some reputable scholarly journals within and outside Nigeria. He is a renowned public speaker and media personality, panelist, analyst for more than 15 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please receive with me Dr. Mfon Ineme, Associate Professor, Clinical Psychology and Head of Department, Clinical Psychology, University of Uyo. Thank you very much. Dr. Mfon, do we have him on the call?
I can confirm that we have Dr. Mfon, so we would proceed with the 3 panelists present. He will join, and as soon as he joins, we can take his input. Please do proceed. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So as a perfect gentleman that I am, permit me to say ladies first. So we'll start with Nidra. Nidra, in your experience advocating for diversity and inclusion, how do you feel that women can contribute to shaping positive narratives about men and boys today? Most especially in supporting the journey of creating that equitable space.
Oh, sorry. I just realized I hadn't muted. Thank you very much for the question. And then before I, move, today is a Men's Day, right? We are celebrating men, right? So you shouldn't be deferring to me first because, we are celebrating you today. But nonetheless, thank you for according me that honor to speak as the only woman on your panel today, even though we are celebrating men. It just goes to show you, and then this is me going ahead to talk about how we can work collaboratively to support boys and men in the long run. Now, what I've observed, generally speaking, is when we have an inclusive space, right? And by inclusive space, I'm talking about an environment where we are not limiting it to either male or female, but it's inclusive. It helps to breed a generation that are very team-minded oriented, right? In this industry that we find ourselves, and even the world at large, it's important that we have a kind of leadership that is inclusive and not just, traditional as what we have been seeing in the past, where it's only one type of, people that are being pushed to the forefront, and then the pressure builds on. I've heard people talk about the negative side of diversity and inclusion as if it pitches the men to be pushed to be back, and by default the boys, and whilst promoting the ladies. But in actual fact, that is not what it is. So for women, what we can do is, first and foremost, we need to see that we are allies on this journey. For a long time, there's always been this thing where it appears as if we are opponents, but in actual fact, we are allies. A lot of us here we have brothers, we have male relatives, we have children that, I'm the mother of only boys, right? So it just shows you that we need to work together. So for me, the key thing for us is leveraging the fact that we all have unique perspectives. As women, we have unique perspectives. As men, we have unique perspectives. So how can we get this to merge, or how do we get to a point where we are encouraging? I would say one of the things we can really leverage on, especially in the context of SPE, is our mentorship programs. A lot of times we see a case of when people come in and sign up to be mentors, we tend to pair women to women and men to men. One way of exchanging perspectives is by just doing a mix of pairing. I would end with this thing. In my career, all my promotions have been pushed the hardest, and I don't mean it in a negative way. Like, the person who has encouraged me the most to go in for my promotions and my career is a male. Yeah, he's been one person, and he's doing it again. He actually reached out today. Hey Nitra, how are you doing? Have you started? I'm coming again. And this will be like literally the 4th time in my journey. And that just goes to show that I have amazing women around, but it's a man who is taking it upon himself because he knows that, I'll get busy and I'll slack off on some things and I wouldn't push, but he follows through. So that makes me realize that I don't need to be the same gender to be able to encourage these kind of conversations or help you to be a better version. So for me, within this community, I would say when we do our mentorships, we need to show that it's not just a gender thing, but there's a lot of value to be gained from listening to both perspectives and, growing with a team mindset.
Wow, I had to be taking some notes here. So I believe the idea of mixed mentorship, it strikes a whole lot to me. Over to you, Dr. Chukwudi. Speaking about the unique perspective, from your experience in leadership in the Boys Brigade, what core principles and practices have proven most effective in shaping boys into disciplined, responsible leaders, and how can these be sustained in today's rapidly changing social environment?
I want to believe you can hear me very well.
Sorry, confirm you can hear me?
Can you hear me very well?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much for this very big platform. Happy International Men's Day to all the men out there. And it feels good to talk about men and boys on a special day like this. I've been getting series of messages and, people telling me Happy International Men's Day, and I'm proud to be a man, So let me thank the organizers for the invite. And for me, I think these are the things we need in times like this so that we can continue to stock, so we can have the kind of society that we want, the ought to be society. Well, speaking from the Boys Brigade angle, the Boys Brigade is an organization that has existed for over 100 years, as founded far back in the year 1883 in Glasgow, Scotland. It was founded to solve the problems of society as it affects the boy child. That is to say, the boy child must be a responsible man, must be self-reliant. And when we talk about practices and programs, the Boys Brigade has a curriculum that is divided into four. And these four areas are about the development of the boy child. We have the spiritual development, we have the physical development, we have the social development and the educational development of the boy child, what we call the four cardinal development areas of the boy child. And in these four cardinal areas, there are programs that are drawn to ensure that development as it is comes to bear, in terms of what we planned and what our expectations are being actualized. And the Boys Brigade meets. It's so structured that it moves from the global fellowship down to what we call a company, and that company meets at least once a week, where we try to look at how the boys are acting, their behavior, and also there is a relationship that exists between the officers who are older boys, and ladies too who are older ladies, and the parents of the boys to go home to their homes and do some level of evaluation to know if really what they are taught at the level of their companies, they go home to be good persons as it ought to be. And those feedbacks also tells the leaders what next step to take. So the Boys Brigade is so structured that it's basically about the boy child development. And again, one very important thing is that, I used to tell people personally, I'm one person who believes in mentorship, and I tell people that society is bad today because the man who is successful does not want to mingle with the boy who is on the street. Successful people try to, they tell you that big men only meet big men, that there is no space where a big man should meet a poor man, and the society continues to decay. But in our organization, like the Boys Brigade, it's an organization where you have mixed people that are up there and people that are down there. Many people that are up there who are patrons, individuals that are well-to-do professionals in their different areas. We call them patrons. We bring them, get them inducted as patrons to offer mentorship to these young people. And we make them understand that every boy under the Boys Brigade is your child. It doesn't need to be your biological child to say, this one is mine. So when you are going passing on the road or something is happening anyway, you owe the responsibility to correcting that boy child. So the Boys Brigade is at the forefront of making young boys to become men, responsible men that the society will be proud of, and also people that will be self-reliant citizens. And so I think, though it's unfortunate, talking about what can be done to sustain it, it's unfortunate that even the government of the day, using Nigeria for instance, these things, government are not interested in anything that is not politics. The government is not interested. Whatever will not give them food. But when it has to do with helping these ones at a young age, from boys Brigade, we start looking at them from age 6. We start training them, putting them together from age 6. So the government only waits for people to decide to get the kids so that they can do amnesty program for people of 35, 40 years and tell them to come and submit their arms. What about a program to check these organizations like the Boys Brigade and others out there that tend to touch them young, whether for Christ or for whatever. For us, our organization is a faith-based organization, but it doesn't matter. Anybody can be a member. So a lot needs to be done. Parents need to also contribute. The government needs to contribute. Organizations like this should be encouraged and funded. Even international partners can also get the solution. So I think that's what I have to say.
Thank you very kindly. I get mentorship and discipleship, intentional discipleship, and these are core practices and principles. Thank you. I think we have Dr. Onfong with us.
Yes, we do.
Yes. Dr. Onfong, you're very much welcome. Please confirm you can hear us and you can also be heard. Just briefly. Hello, Dr. Onfong. Okay. So we proceed to my boss, the council chair. Francis, You have seen the energy industry evolve over the past years of your involvement in the energy industry, and you have led teams both within the industry and outside the industry. Do you think the society's definition of successful man, that successful man, helps or hurts men? And if you had to define what success should truly look like for men in today's world, beyond titles and paychecks, what would you say?
Okay, thank you for that question. Good evening, everyone. I will stand on existing protocols and appreciate the organizers for inviting me. Thank you so much. There are many questions. Maybe you go over it again so I don't miss. Let me just ask you to go over it again so I note it down. Because I go over the question again, please.
Okay, first is the definition of successful men.
Exactly.
Does it help or hurt men?
Yes.
And what should be the true definition of success in today's world?
Thank you very much. Because many of these topics are things that I tend to discuss a lot, and so I can discuss them from various perspectives. Personally, for me, I have a definition of success, and it's a bit unique, and it tends to go towards the spiritual. Sorry, I have to bring that in first. So I tell people that success is achieving what God has called you to do on this earth. Once you achieve that, you're successful. Every other thing is by the wayside. So, but bringing it to us in SPE, what you call successful is what you decide you want to be, and you achieve that. That is success. And I say that because you may be striving to achieve what somebody else has achieved. You want to be Dangote, for those that know Dangote in Nigeria, or let me use someone, you want to be Bill Gates if you're somewhere else. And like you hear people say that DNAs are different. There is a path for someone, there's a path for another. And two people will never look alike. They may seem alike, but they're not exactly alike. So the true definition of success is what you want to be in. I have a friend in my company that said something once. He had worked about 15 years in the company. He could retire in about 5 years' time. And he says what he's earning at this point in time, because of his content nature, he's okay with it and is ready to retire at that level. And he said he has looked at the work it will take to go to the next level or the levels he wants to go. And that work is so much. Stay late at night, like Simon mentioned in his very good presentation. You get health issues. You don't get time to spend with your family. You don't get time to do the things you love to do. At the end of the day, you've gotten the promotion, you've gotten to that level, and you've missed out on all the others. So when we talk about success, we always have to bring in those perspectives into. Now, we have to add something into that, your core values. And your core values, I always tell people, they might be integrity and things like that, but also your core belief in what you want to do. So for instance, if somebody really believes he wants to be like Dangote, copy Dangote and everything, when he does reach that, it's success for him. So it's about what you want to be. It must be important at what you want to be, because I've seen many people get to so many levels, and I have somebody that retired with about 20 houses, and he's telling me, oh, Francis, I really like the way you travel a lot, that I really wish I could travel. And I'm like looking at them and saying, but you have all these houses that I really like to have. And that's when I started thinking about it and changing my perspective and saying, Francis, you can't really, you have to decide what you like and be satisfied with it. And it got me to a place where I say, I don't regret. I take some good time to look at the pros and cons of what I want to do. And then I decide on what I want to do, and I don't regret it. So that's it. Then, so does it harm or help? Basically, you've gotten the understanding for what I've said. So it can harm, it can help. You'll make money, of course, if you're probably trying very aggressive and everything, and you'll enjoy it. But is it really what you want to be? I tell people that you can, just like you can gain your career and lose your soul. And I see many people do that. That is, people tend not to be who they are anymore. For instance, I tell people that if people come to visit you, if you're working in a big company and you keep them at the gate for so long, you don't attend to them, things like that, you know that you've changed over time, because maybe when you started your career, you could speak to anybody. All of a sudden now you can't see people anymore. Your character is changing slowly. And if you don't take time, you tend to find out your character changes fully. You may be, in quote, as people say, you may be mean, you may be unkind, you may be proud, and such like, and then you lose your soul. And people know that themselves. They realize along the way of their career, they are no more the person they used to be. They like what people see them as at that point in time. People look up to them, people like them, people praise them. They like that. But within them, they know that they are not what they want to be. And you see that in celebrities a lot, for instance. So I'll stop there for now.
Wow, thank you so much. I think for me that be satisfied with what you have. Even while trying to achieve more, you need to also be satisfied with what we have. Very, very insightful. Please confirm if we have Dr. Onfong yet on the call, or else we will proceed.
Just proceed, because
Okay.
I mentioned to him that once he's able to join, he can just indicate so that we will stop and ask a question. But let's go around the room. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And back to you, Francis. As SP Nigeria Council Chair, you mentor and shape future leaders. You've been a mentor to quite a number of young professionals who have now become leaders in the organization. What's that one thing that you think men in leadership often get right? And on the flip side, that one thing that you think they need to rethink in creating inclusive teams and workplaces? And as well, what strategies do you think they can use in doing this creation of the inclusive teams and workplaces?
Well, nice question again. What I would say I've seen so far, and I will maybe liken it to what we call the high flyers in the office. People that are high potential, people that are driven. And I'll say they have a lot of drive. They are very driven. They are very motivated. They are very focused on what they want to achieve. And so
Please,
when you find someone...
I have joined, please.
Okay, welcome,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
So when you find that person that's focused, the world is his own, I found out. So you see, like I mentioned a bit about it earlier on, that you see the young person, he's staying in the office till 10 p.m. He always delivers. So people will say, oh, why are they promoting only him? But every time he has to get to deliver something, he always delivers. So people that are driven, self-driven, they are target-oriented, they have a spirit, I'll call it a spirit of excellence. They look for the best in what they do. there's no stopping to what levels they can get to. And then on the flip side, like you mentioned, what I'll say about it is that a lot of times I've found that the drawback about them is that they don't take prisoners. They don't take prisoners at all. That means when someone around them is trying to slow them down, the work is not moving, they could step on you and move on. It's something that, how will I put it? I'm trying not to boast a bit, but I think so for me, something that even has impacted my career a bit, because I do want to accept people, and it's part of the inclusion, which I kind of put down in my place, that inclusion really means that all are welcome. All are welcome. Diverse means multiple perspectives in my thinking. So, like for instance, if you are in a team and they send you an employee that is not driven, is not hardworking, is lazy, is tricky, and all that, some people won't accept them. They don't. In my career, I accept them. I feel it's my responsibility to build people. And that's where I believe leaders have to start thinking. Leaders are there, part of your responsibility to build people. So some leaders just take only the people that work hard, intelligent, everything, and use them. I found out in my career, they usually send some of them to me because they know I will build them. It's a lot of work. In spiritual terms, we call it discipleship. A friend of mine will say, it's easy to go and preach to people about Christ, in quotes, but it's difficult to disciple them because it means you stay with them, you spend. If I use the other example as a football agent, it's easy to identify a football star, a potential star, but it's difficult to be that agent because you'll take that footballer everywhere. You will have sleepless nights trying to make sure he gets the right club, the right place, and things like that. So there is that place, and that is where leaders and mentors need to be a bit more inclusive. And it's very tough because what it means is that you have to have empathy. And typically those folks don't have empathy, or they might have, but the goals they are trying to achieve trumps empathy. So you have to say, am I going to choose the goals, the targets, or am I going to choose the person? And once you're able to balance it, that's the way I like to, there's a balance to it. And then I remember somebody working in my group, and he was very sound technically. He just didn't know how to project what he does. So I had to take him through that. I sent him for courses like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I didn't send him for technical courses. I tell people that the trainings, you have to make sure that you understand the person. You have to understand where he's coming from. You have to understand what has gaps. You have to understand what will make this person become better. He may not become excellent. He may never get to where the high flyer, the high potential person may be. But he will become, at the end of it, he will be a much better person, a much better employee than when he started working for you at the end. So I'll stop it at that. Thank you.
Wow. As a leader, it is your responsibility to build people and understand these people. I think we'll go to Dr. Mfon. In a bid to try to build people and understand people and push the boundaries, part of what Simon talked about in his keynote speech, we find out that most times the society would always want that leader to be strong. And most times, if such a leader that is solving problem, offering solutions to people, is showing emotions, there's this cultural expectation that he should hide his emotions. Dr. Mfon, what patterns have you seen in your research so far that reveal the cost of this expectation? And if there are maybe some real life experiences that an early intervention
Yes,
changed a
thank you
man's life. Yeah.
so much for having me. And I must sincerely, I must sincerely apologize for what has happened in terms of my being able to connect for this event.
I think Dr. Mfon is having some network challenges. Okay.
Yes, we can
Dr.
proceed.
Mfon?
Dr. Mfon, if you want, you can also put in the chat box. And
Okay.
if you're not able to use your audio as required. Please, you can continue the cycle. Yeah,
All right. And then we come back to our lady, special lady. Nidra, you shared the experience where it was a man, or it was a male figure, let me put it that way, it was a male figure who pushed you in your career. Just to ask, what personal challenges have you faced so far in your career in a highly technical and male-dominated industry, especially as amongst the female folks, both male and female folks? And how have these experiences shaped your views on the best strategies for active and strategic mentorship?
Thank you for that question. It's quite a loaded question, but I'll try to just touch on it. So challenges exist in everywhere. Whether as a man, whether as a woman, there are challenges, right? Coming into the career as a young person, very eager to learn and do stuff. You come into this, I work with SLB, highly technical, highly specialized, and it can be very
I am back. I am back, please.
Okay, Dr. Mfon,
I am back.
we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Welcome.
Okay.
Nidra, please, you can proceed if you're able to speak.
Yeah, can I continue? I guess.
Yes, please do
Yes,
continue.
yes, please. You do continue, please.
Okay.
After you come back to Dr. Mfon.
All right. Can I proceed? Okay. All right.
Yes, please.
So I was talking about the fact that coming into a space and then seeing this very highly technical role and
Right, we're not having a very friendly technological setup this evening, and we'll crave your understanding as we fix. Well, thank you very much. We're enjoying the panel session. So we'll proceed to Dr. Chukwudi, if that's okay, moderator. Then we'll circle back.
Sure. Our sincere apologies for the network challenges. Dr. Chukwudi, could you still hear us?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, perfect. So you mentioned that the Boys Brigade has been shaping boys into responsible men for generations. And the last few speakers have talked about mentorship and intentional mentorship, mixed mentorship, which you also mentioned that Boys Brigade has provided, where we have both senior boys and ladies, senior ladies mentoring the younger ones. And what's the biggest challenge that the boys face today in becoming men of character in a world dominated by social media and fast trends? And how do you think organizations can collaboratively help these boys and these younger ones overcome these challenges?
Okay, thank you for that question. Of course, we live in a society where the boy child is given a timeline to start feeding home. You know, there's this saying, I left home to feed home. The boy child is given a timeline to possibly start feeding home. And this has led to the quick success syndrome, where in the society we find ourselves today, there are different things that the young people do, the boys mainly. You know, you talk about the internet fraud, you talk about bets. You know, there was a situation we had one time, one of our members, you know, though he joined newly, and somehow they had a program and handed over the money to him to keep. And he used the money to play bets. And he was expecting that there was going to be a return. But somehow, but the good thing is that today he's now in, I think he's in the United Arab Emirates now. He's doing well. You know, the boys get tried to, we didn't kill him. We still subjected him to further mentorship. So a lot of things are happening out there today. You talk about the social media, you know, the internet space. People are living too many fake lives. And some of these young boys have been carried away with what they see on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, you know. You can just see somebody, a young man holding a bundle of money, and you don't even know what who gave him to hold. And you know, things are saying there's a popular there's a popular thing. I don't know if I'll call him a musician now, who said money in water. You know, I wouldn't want to call his name, you know. But so a lot of things, there are many lots of pressures on the boy child, you know. So these things have made too many of them to the wrong path. In fact, this issue of internet fraud today, those of us that are very familiar with what happens in this country, they now the one they call Yahoo Plus. It is now beyond the normal. You have to either get somebody, do rituals and all that. So too many wrong things are happening, and young boys are growing into being irresponsible men, and society tends to decay. So we have this challenge mainly as an organization that is centered on the boy child. You can see sometimes some of them, you try to get them before you know it by peer pressure, their friends, what they see happen, they get to fall out along the line, and they begin to. So some of them too, we have been able to redeem them. Some of them that have fallen off, and somehow when they get to the end, they discover that there is no road there. They tend to turn back, and when they come back, we tell them, you can see, you were advised to be this. So again, talking about what can be done as an organization, we have continued to, like I talked about mentorship. We've continued to mentor them, and like I said, an instance of someone who used the entire money. I think it was a Carol program they did, and the money was with him. He used it to go and play bets. The one they call visual. To some level of discipline, which the boys stands for. But somehow he was also brought back. And today he's doing well, like I said. It's in Dubai, he's doing well. And many of them. So mentorship is very key. And knowing the right instruments to use to caution auto sanction is also key. So anyone who is familiar with the Boys Brigade, there's a rank called the captain. The captain is like the unit head, and the captain is given a staff, and they tell him to use one part to spank or to tend the boys. And when they go wrong, that they should turn the other parts to use to bring them back into the fold of Christ. Because that is what the Boys Brigade stands for. So I know one of the panelists talked about, I think, can't remember the name, talked about not just focusing on the best hands, but trying to mentor others and coach them into also being good hands. So we do that as an organization, and I think it's something that should be encouraged by other organizations, and there should be partnership. And like I've said, the government needs to play a very important role. When I in my opening speech, the first question, I said the government needs to play a very important role. I've said it that it's very wrong for government to wait for society to get decayed. Then they now tell them to come and submit arms in the name of amnesty. They now enroll them into payments and all that. Meanwhile, we can give support to organizations like this, so that the right thing can be done.
Indeed, indeed.
To be better men.
All right, go ahead.
Indeed,
Petra.
indeed. I think Dr. Chukwudi is having some slight network challenges. We will go to Dr. Mfon. In light of what Francis and even Chukwudi has mentioned about trying to build people, I know we have a number of leaders who try to be strong, who want to help out. And there's something that people always say, the helper most times needs to be helped. But we discover that many times these helpers are not open to seek help because of this slight stigma of being perceived as weak. So sometimes when they want to go and seek help and open up to some people, people use that against them. So it has taught a good number of them to lock up and do their thing. How do you think we can practically build emotional intelligence in boys and men to be able to have these safe spaces for men to seek help without judgment? Dr. Mfon, please.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, please, am I here?
We can. Yes, we can hear you.
I'm sorry, please, I didn't get the question completely, so let me get it again.
Okay, basically it's about the leaders who try to be strong and help people, and they want to be the hero, in quotes. And there's this picture that you see someone coming with so many arrows at the back, and he comes in, he's all wounded and he's all smiling and all. And when most of these kind of leaders want to show and open up, they are being perceived as weak. How can we practically build emotional intelligence that would help create these safe spaces for men to seek help and be able to open up without being judged or having that feeling of being judged and perceived as weak?
Yeah, thank you so much. Let us remember that the male human being, has been naturally assigned certain roles to certain expectations by the society that we belong. Now, one of such expectations is that a man should not cry in the public. I'm sure it's a very common thing in African society that a man should not cry in the public. And so if a male child is crying as a young boy, you say, well, come on, close your mouth. You're a man. Don't cry. Keep quiet. You are a man. Number two is the expectation that you shouldn't accept failure in your life because you are a man. Don't accept that you have failed. So no matter what happens, the society expects that as a man, you should not accept failure. Now, we grow up as men with these
Dr. Mfon? Sincere apologies. I think the network is very friendly to us.
We might need to start wrapping up.
All right, we'll need to wrap up. My sincere apologies, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. In conclusion, as we wrap up this session, our final thoughts, I think we'll start with Francis. Final thoughts. What advice would you give to young professionals? You talked about the ambition, that integrity, but in general, the goal from what you said, if I should paraphrase, is the aim is to be a 360 man. And you're doing what God has asked you to do, and then you're also being ambitious and going for what you want here on it. What advice would you give to the young professionals and the younger generation?
Okay, so maybe I'll take it this way and wrap up, because I have some key things in my mind that I always have for young ones. The first one.
I am sorry, I had to cut off. I think network or something. I
No
wouldn't know.
problem. Dr.
Okay.
Kwon, let's continue.
So
Continue.
So the first thing I would say is that a lot of young people, even in our industry, petroleum engineering, I believe they don't want to be mentored. I know it's a tough saying. People always want to argue that. What I mean by that is that they want quick benefits from the mentor. They want gifts from the mentor, but they don't want to take the principles that the mentor wants to give. I will use the example that in Nigeria, we talk about the 2K, urgent 2K. I say you go and meet a big man and take urgent 2K. The man could give you something that could make you millions. If you were patient, if you were diligent, if you asked the right questions, because others have done it before. That's number one. The second thing I want to say, which is the most important to me, and I use that, I call it PlayStation men, PlayStation boys. That's what I call them these days. People that don't want, there are two main words: responsibility and accountability. Young boys and young men don't want to be responsible. They don't want to be accountable. And that is what makes you mature. That's what makes you a man, in quote. And I'm not talking about being perfect. I'm not talking about crying. You can cry in that accountability, in that. I use the example of a man that has, let's say, the way we call it in the church, premarital sex, for instance. Responsibility means when the lady comes to meet you and say, this is your child, you should be responsible enough to take that child. That is a sign of maturity. When that child is yours, you should be able to take care of that child and take care of that woman. That is accountability. And when you bring into our industry, our work and things like that, the same way, if you failed in a job, accept you failed. You pick yourself up. There are mistakes, but you pick yourself. You must be responsible. You must be accountable. The third thing is that men and boys don't often feel unseen these days. They feel that they are not seen. And it's something that people are facing a lot. But I tell people that if you have core values, like I mentioned before, if you know who you are, they used to tell us this when we were younger, you know the home you came from. So when you come from a home, these are your core values. This is what, like I'm Francis Nwoche, this is what the Nwoche home believe in. We believe in integrity, we believe in trust, we believe in these things. Once you do that, you will find that it's very hard to be unseen, because you know who you are and you believe who you are. So when people don't see you, you know you are what you are. And on that note, I'll say that SB remains committed, of course, to youth development like this program, the chapters, the YP programs. And it's very important that we continue to mentor, people volunteer to mentor, and people be mentored. So for the mentees, the young people, please give yourselves for mentoring. Please learn. Please be patient. And I can assure you, you'll reap the benefits. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much. So if I may paraphrase what you said, don't go looking for urgent 2K from your mentor. Thank you so much. Over to you, Nidra. What as we wrap up, what are those
Sorry, I don't know. I didn't complete what I was saying, please. Can I still say something?
Oh, okay, just in 2 minutes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I wanted to say that mine was to look at the mental health condition of the men and the men and the boys, and then I want to say that out of experience, one of the major mental health issues that affect men is stress. Stress that is put on men by the society, stress that is put on men by especially our African society, the expectations that are put on men is quite high. One, in terms of the role that we play as men, And then 2, in terms of the expectation that you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And then if you fail in any of these aspects, you are simply tagged a failure. And so in an attempt not to become expectation, not to be seen as a failure, you are bound, the men have been bound to do so many things that shouldn't have done to meet the needs of the family as the breadwinners, as the fathers, and then as brothers, as uncles, and so on. These roles are put on men at the same time, one person facing all of that. And in most cases too, men are not easily celebrated. I want to thank this organization for celebrating men. Notice that in most of even religious organizations, we celebrate Mary more than we celebrate Joseph. You forget that Joseph played a very serious role in Mary, ignoring Joseph, who then he didn't touch his wife, he didn't, he left and cared for a child he wasn't responsible for. We often don't celebrate men. And so I think it's also a very good thing that we think of celebrating men, we think of appreciating men. It will give men these
Yeah, very well. We have started celebrating Joseph now, thanks to SPE, thanks to the Boys Brigade, and thanks to everyone here. Even in our companies and our corporations, we have started celebrating the men, and we really encourage more of this in the next future. Over to Nidra, your closing remarks, your closing thoughts with regards to the younger
I'm not sure what's happening with my network. Absolutely not sure what's happening, if it's my network or if it is your guys' network, but nonetheless, it's fine. So I did
definitely
summarize.
is not our network.
So yes, I did summarize what I was trying to say initially based on the question that you asked, and I think it's really kind of encapsulates what I'm trying to say. When it comes to the conversation that we've been having, building competence is not something that is bound by gender. So I would say build genuine competence, but not just building it, communicate it. Seek allies. I said this already. It's very important. Don't just look for people who look like you, but look for people who can help you. Our focus shouldn't be on the gender. It should be on what can this person do to help me grow. And then emotional intelligence. Once you bring that into the conversation, you realize that all this bucket we find ourselves in, where we are focusing so much on your male versus your female, it kind of just goes out. We are looking at competence, we are looking at your unique abilities and strengths, and asking for help. A lot of men don't like to ask for help, and I guess I can't blame them, because society expects them to be supermen, which is not fair to them. So then they end up struggling much more. So, and as women who are on this call, if you see a colleague, a young person comes in, an intern comes in, you can see this guy is struggling, but because he's afraid of being tagged as he's not smart, so he doesn't want to ask. If he's not coming to you, you take the initiative to go ahead and support this person and help them. It's okay not to know everything. Nobody knows everything. And last but not the least, let's discourage that mindset of lone wolf, you being alone and doing things. Collaboration is very key, and that's why we are sitting in this place. We are collaborating, we are talking. I'm learning from you and you're learning from me. So I think in a nutshell, this is what I would like to leave as my final thoughts on this conversation.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This has been very inspiring. I just got notified that our time is up. Yeah. Okay, so I think we have 30 seconds for Dr. Onfon to give us one change of mindset that men should have to improve their mental health. Just one mindset change that you think from your experience men should have. Dr. Onfon, please. 30 seconds. Dr. Mfon, confirm you can hear us. Okay, I think the network is still. All right. Thank you so much, distinguished and most valuable panelists. It has been an awesome session. I truly have been honored to host this session. Happy International Men's Day to every one of us. And thank you for your thoughts. You could drop your questions in the comment section. I believe the panelists will be in the panel session to treat any questions. At this junction, permit me to kindly hand over to Dr. Judith.
Thank you very much.
Dr.
It
Judith.
was quite insightful. The network got nothing on us. No,
At
no,
all,
stop,
at
no, stop us
all.
at all. It tried, but it could not. We had, we appreciate you all for your patience. We thank you for allowing us keep taking the questions from our panelists. You can tell from the feedback or from this discussion that it was very powerful and it was well put together. We only regret that we can't spend more time to hear because we need to still go back to our homes. But by all means, we want to say thank you to our dear panelists. Thank you to our moderator. And if it's okay and you have additional thoughts, please do feel free, panelists, to put them on the chat. That I'm sure a lot of persons will still find them useful. So that being said, we want to, we missed recognizing our past SP president, Mr. Olivier. I think we said hello to him in the chat. He dropped off. Our ARD, Dr. Riverson, was here. We had a number of SDs, Dr. Joseph, but I figured that they had to run along to other event. But we want to appreciate them in absentia for their taking our time to be here. And Council Chair, thank you for staying on with us. Please, Council Chair, I would need to implore you to take this next segment for us. We want to just show the flyer, having the men we want to celebrate. I know it's not part of what we had communicated, but please do us the honor. You don't have to call the names, but we would like you to give a voiceover because we believe that it's worth celebrating our men. And this is the next slide. And these men have proven to be leaders in the society. Next one, please. Because what I see in SPE is that many of our young people come in, they join our student members, and over time, they get mentored, they volunteer, they grow, they graduate, they become young professionals. And you see them growing steadily. They become mid-level career professionals, they become leaders. And I find it interesting that in the industry, many of our SP members are leaders. It speaks to something. It speaks to the quality of training that they get. It may not even be that it's formal training that they sit down and listen, but when they observe these good behaviors being role modeled, they get to learn and they grow. Please, the next slide, you can flash the 3 slides, then you come back to the first one. So we'll let our council chair speak. The next slide, please. Next one, then you can come back. Council Chair, we invite you please to help us celebrate our men. Thank you.
So on behalf of the organizing committee for this session, this program, we want to really celebrate these wonderful men. I see very powerful men that have been inspirational, have been instrumental to the growth of many people in SP, inspiring many men, and want to celebrate these ones for all the effort, all the sacrifice, all the work. And we hope that those that they've mentored will not let them down. That's really our desire. And then we will promise them that the young ones will definitely deliver on the mentoring. So a big congratulations to all these men of honor, of dedication, of perseverance. We really want to say thank you, and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, the next segment. All right. We invite our membership committee chair. I think this part will be taken by Kimberly to take this membership drive. And after that, we will give closing remarks. That would be it. Thank you for your patience so far. Do we have someone from membership?
Yeah, I'm on
Please
the
go
call.
ahead. All right, do go ahead, sir.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Confirm you can hear me clearly.
Yes, please, we can hear you. Good evening. Please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. We're all welcome to the call, and it was quite an insightful and really inspiring session. So I'll be taking the membership drive. My name is Briggs Dailolo, and I'm part of the membership committee for SP Port Harcourt section. So moving on to the slide, Simeon. So what is SP? If you ask, SP means the Society of Petroleum Engineers. It's one of the world's largest individual member organization, serving professionals and students in the oil, gas, energy industry. And note, SP is not limited to petroleum engineering persons. It also is a non-profitable organization where people share, collect, exchange technical knowledge related to the oil and gas resources and energy and technologies too. So moving on to who are our members, if you ask. Our members, we have students, young professionals, graduates, and senior professionals. And what are the main benefits in SP? We have series of benefits to mention but few. In SP, we have a strong industry network of leaders, peers, and mentors. In SP, like you heard in Kowe, we have CEOs, managers, MDs, and SP provides this opportunity for individuals to network, connect with these persons on a normal day, which is quite difficult. But in SP, you can see a house full of these people where you get to network with them. It's quite interesting. Also, one of the benefits again in SP is career visibility. Whatever your career path, your talents, SP provides that platform for you to shine and get recognized by great persons. Also, SP provide live technical events. We have online events and we have on-site events where you get to learn more, even outside your discipline, leveling up your knowledge, because no knowledge is a waste. Also, SP provide enhanced industry knowledge, where we go for field trips, and also we go for field trips where we get hands-on experience, in which on a normal day, it's very difficult to go to a company and say you want to go on a field trip there. So SP provides this opportunity for free, and you get to learn a lot. So SP provides lots of conference opportunity around the continent and many countries too, at a discounted rate for members. For non-members, it's quite high, very, very high. If you see it on the dashboard as a non-member, you'll be shocked. But thank God we won't get to there because we're all going to become SP members, those that are not members yet. So join us today on SP. You can see the code on the screen. You can scan it. For students, it's totally free. For professionals, new registrations is 9,000. For renewal, it's 55,000. Moving on to the next slide, you see the contact details to reach out to our membership team leads. Our membership chair, Emmanuel Agbo, that's a phone number over there, and Adams Andrew, that's his phone number. You can just take a screenshot so you can just reach out to them if you're not a member to become a member right away. So thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. So at this point, we take photograph. I missed that earlier. Simeon, please kindly support with taking the photographs. So we would turn on our cameras now, I would imagine. Simeon, let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
So just wait for some places to turn on their video so snap the picture. Okay, we start wasting much time for those who have already turned on their video. We'll just snap the picture. So I'm going to say SPE, you will do the thumbs up from your end. If you can't speak, at least we can see your hand. So you just say solutions, people, energy from your end, and I'll do the screenshot from here. So SPE,
Solutions, people, energy.
Okay. I think I'm going to do it one more. There's some places were not smiling. So SPE.
Solutions, people, energy.
Thank you.
All right, let me know when you're ready so we can continue. Thank you very much. All right. Next slide, please. Thank you. So at this point, I would like to give a closing remark. For us here as the D&I Committee Chair in Port Harcourt, we curate and deliver programs that are truly diverse, from considering the boy child, the girl child, men, women. Even last time we had a program on disabilities. So there are different aspects of D&I. Some are visible, some are invisible. But we think about our community and think of how best to serve the community, hence the programs we put together. So I want to thank you all for coming here, listening to the session. We hope you do truly find it rewarding. Please, by show of reaction, let me know if you found this event rewarding, if it's worth your time, so that we also appreciate your feedback on what we can do better next time, to the end that we keep refining our product offerings. I call it product offering because we're your service providers. We want to make sure that the well-curated services, this offerings that meet your intent, they help you grow. You learn something you can apply in your workplace, in your life. So that's what we stand to do. Here on the screen are the core team in Port Harcourt. This is not really the team from Ghana. Next time I take feedback, we'll put the team for another section. But for the Port Harcourt team, I am the D&I chair. Earlier, I showed us the D&I chair from Ghana, who you've been listening to for most of the time, Nidra, and the D&I chair from Uyo, that's Professor Julius. For Port Harcourt, our secretary here is Jethro. We have our advice engineer, Cookie, who was our chair last year. We have Dorcas Jimmy Otiskuro. She's the section secretary, and she's been a valuable member of the team. We have Patrick, who's done so much and who has added value in many ways, more ways than one. We have Simi. Simi is one of our young graduates, but she's brought in so much energy, so much power. We have Justice. Justice has been exceptional in his support. And we have our in-house graphic designer. In fact, we've done so many programs and we've been able to get wonderful graphics thanks to the work that Julius does. A lot of the work he does is behind the scene, but when you see the visuals and they're exciting, just know that he's the brain behind it. So we thank you, Julius. We thank you all for all you've done. And we have someone who is not being shown here. We have Danny, who also worked with us. Above all, we want to thank our section chair, the section chair of Port Harcourt, Uyo, and Ghana. We thank the entire board for all the support we've been getting. We thank you all for listening to us, and we do look forward to doing this again some other time. We're looking forward to going to the school tomorrow to do an in-person event where we want to reach the boys. We're going to do that in collaboration with Boys Brigade. In the future, we will be bringing other offerings as the days proceed. So thank you very much for your time and do have an excellent evening. Bye for now. Thank you, Idra.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.